Matthew Moore's Wood Studio. Today is Friday, May 20th, which means it's time for another weekly shop update. So what's been going on in the shop this week? Well, not a lot, but a lot. So let's get into it. Number one, what was done in the shop this week was this right over here, which is the cuts to relieve material to allow the wedges to get in and securely lock this thing in place. We're not going anywhere. So let me walk you through that first. So number one, the first thing I did was I laid out my lines. Now, the cut here is a subtle 2 degrees, which is more than enough to lock this joint in. So after doing my layout lines, I attached a sacrificial fence to my sled. And then from there, I was able to, over a course of 3 cuts, the first cut at 2 degrees, the second cut at the opposite 2 degrees, and the third cut square on, was able to remove material to create the space for the wedge. Now, what's important here is the sacrificial fence and the ability to clamp this guy, so the trestle, to the fence itself. And that allows for a very stable base, and it prevents this piece from moving when I make this cut. Now the cut's about 2 inches deep. What the wedge is doing is expanding that tenon. It's a few thousandths of an inch short on each side in width. And as it expands the tenon, that's what prevents this from moving and everything locking in. If you need to, for whatever reason, tighten this up, all you need to do actually is take your dead blow mallet and just hit the tenon forward, because that's going to push this whole assembly back. So everything is extremely tight right here. There is no need to pull anything in. So this is just to secure the entire trestle. Now, the wedges themselves, instead of cutting 2 degrees on each side, I take the wedge and I take some material that's been milled up, or I can mill up materials. In this case, I had material already milled up, and I make a cut at 4 degrees, which is double the 2 degrees, and that gives me 2 degrees on each side. The wedge is a little bit of an angle on the very top, and that's cleaned up very easily later with a block plane to get a nice flat surface there. So that's pretty much what's going on here with the wedges. And of course, after I cut the wedges on the bandsaw at that 4 degrees, I went over to the bench and I cleaned them up with a block plane, so I had a nice flat surface there, and then knocked them in. The rest of the week was spent on a couple of things. Number one, preparing a presentation for the talk I gave last night at the San Fernando Valley Woodworkers Club about green and green furniture. It's a great group of guys and gals. So the first half of the presentation was about tables. I didn't have room to bring the coffee table with me. It's just too big. It's 5 feet by 26 inches. The second half of the presentation was centered around the Gamble House rocking chair. And lots of great questions. Everybody came up, took photos. They're really looking the chair over, every little minutia, every little detail, every little everything. So I had a great time. Thank you so much to Albert and Mark and everybody there for spending time with me. Now, I did get something cool out of it, other than spending a lot of time with some great people or great woodworkers, was there's a guy there who brought some lumber. He owns a mill and sells lumber. He's out in Pasadena. I got his information. I have to go check him out. But according to him, this is some avocado that he cut. AVO, the label over here. And this is supposedly avocado. So I grabbed, with Mark's help, because I was answering questions, he grabbed stuff for me, a couple of avocado boards. So I've never seen avocado as a lumber before, only as a tree where People are picking avocados off to eat them. The other big thing going on between last week and this week was I edited the first, I believe, 6 or 7 chapters of the table project here, the Nakashima inspired dining table project. So everything up until the wedge has been edited, uploaded onto the school site, and is available for yearly members. And I've also added the class if you wanted to sign up for that early. Now, typically when I do a class like this, all these other classes I've done, I'm adding the plans much later on in the project because I'm still making some tweaks to everything as I'm building. I don't want to give you guys version 1 of the plans. I want to give you the final version of the plans. Here, however, it's a little bit different in the sense that the tabletop itself is really up to you guys what you're going to buy. I'm not going to tell you how long of a piece or wide of pieces you should buy or how many. Instead, I'm really just focusing on the trestle and then how I'll keep everything held down, or attaching the tabletop to the trestle, and then the butterfly keys, and of course flattening the top as well. So I worked on the plans for this in SketchUp. I went from drafting paper to SketchUp, and those are done for the base, as you can see right now. So what I need to do the rest of this week, as I promised in the email that went out in the middle of this month to everybody who has the newsletter or is a yearly member or has a class, that I would have the plans done by the end of the month and online. I also released 3 quick tips this week. Those guys are up here. You can check those out, as well as down below in the comments. I have links to all those. 2 of them center around sharpening. The third centers around how I milled up this bad boy here. Oh, and of course the Matt and Matthew episode with Mike Pekovich. It's just been a really good woodworking week in general. So that's pretty much it for this week, except for the question of the week. So the question of the week to you guys is this: have you ever bought some lumber that you just bought because you've never bought it before? It's something exotic and crazy, like me I didn't buy it, I was given it, this avocado lumber. So let me know, I'm curious. And then what did you do with it as well? I don't even know what to do with this. I don't have a particular project planned around it. It was just there. So that's it for this week. As always, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, hit the like button, share in your timeline, and head over to the MM Wood Studio page and like us there as well. And as always, have a great week in the shop.